We'll start with however you would like to introduce yourself.
My name's John Lennertz, and I'm 57, and been in Sacramento for 20 something years, and I teach, God, 30 years at least now, and I teach high school ceramics at Highlands High School, and hopefully I have 4 more years to go. So,
And how did you get pulled into ceramics?
um, well, I was doing bronze sculpture, which I enjoyed. I liked carving in wax. Um, and then I started doing some of the model work in clay and pulling molds off that. And then bronze got really expensive. And it's funny because I hate to say it, but I would always say that uh, I don't care for making things out of ceramics. I don't like the way it feels in my hands. It's like working with mud, and I don't like it. And then through the exodus from bronze because of a cost efficiency standpoint, um, I just realized, wow, this is something I should have gotten into a lot earlier in my life because there's no way playing catch up at this point. I'm going to learn, like, I'm going to scratch the surface. Um, and so I don't pretend to have any great knowledge about the material or the process, um, but I do really enjoy it. I thought I would enjoy throwing more. Um, because I came from a woodworking background before bronze. Wood turning was something I really enjoyed, making vessels out of wood. Uh, and so I really thought I just would fall in love with throwing. Like I wanted to do it in college, but I didn't want to take the prerequisites like the hand building classes. I just wanted to go right to throwing. And then later in life, I learned how to throw and I enjoy it. It's no longer frustrating, but it's not what I thought it would be in terms of what I needed in terms of making objects. And so I I'm a hand builder. That's pretty much what I do. Uh, and I actually really enjoy clay because it dries my hands out terribly. So I usually work with gloves on, and I know that's like so anti-clay culture, like having gloves on is like, ooh, you know. And it's not because I have an aversion to the material. It's just because if you're working, like when you teach all day with it, your hands are so, kind of wet all day, and then the clay is pulling moisture. A couple weeks in, if I'm not wearing gloves all the time, then the tips of my fingers just crack open, and that part I still hate. But I do love the material now, and the community's awesome. Like clay people are like super cool. So
Um, you spoke about bronze and woodworking. What's your earliest art memory?
that's funny because, um, like immediately when I think of my earliest art memory, it is being in preschool with a bunch of empty like 1 gallon cardboard ice cream containers, like at Thrifty, they have those 1 gallon ice cream containers, having a bunch of those empty and different other cardboard shapes. And me and this kid, Trevor, and I don't know why we're super dressed up like this in preschool, but there's black and white picture of me and him painting this totemic thing that we're very, very into. And when I still have that photo, and it cracks me up, like just seeing that picture. And we've got like the little preschool aprons on and everything, and that's probably my earliest one, making a totemic sculpture with Trevor, who eventually then fell off of a big play structure and knocked his front teeth out. We weren't friends after that. I just thought I'd share.
Because he didn't have his two front teeth?
It was horrific. I don't know. I was like, I was traumatized. He fell like almost a story in this big metal rocket ship playground thing they don't have anymore. Fell down and landed literally on his teeth. It was terrible.
Oh my goodness. You just couldn't look at him the same.
Hmm?
You just couldn't look at him the same after that.
No, it was traumatic seeing the teeth gone for a while because we were having a good time, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, now we have to leave the big metal rocket ship, and you have to go to the hospital or the dentist or whatever, and it was traumatizing. Mhm.
Oh man. Okay.
Didn't think you were gonna get that one, did
No.
you? That's right.
um, what memories come to your mind when you think of alpha fired art?
Um, Man, where to start? Josh, I would have to say it's always having to deal with how much money do I have left? Where is it? And who knows where it's at? but that's probably just because it's me. But honestly, Alpha is and has been for me a wealth of answers to all sorts of questions. And Josh, a lot of that goes to you. I've asked you how to fire different types of clay. In fact, when I started, I wanted to teach ceramics because I used to teach wood sculpture, and a classroom full of kids with knives is a little daunting, and it's expensive. And so I thought we could get a clay thing going. And I didn't know anything about it, and I could come in and ask questions here. I thought, I better learn how to throw because because I'm going to have to teach that. And so I came and took a couple months of the throwing class, um, and that was great. And it's just a nice place. It's nice that you have those options. It's come in and work in the studio here, or to use the wheels. And I mean, I can literally leave my classroom on my prep period, come over here and get 500 pounds of clay and be back in class before the next period. And that's absolutely off the charts awesome. And then again, everyone's really nice. Um, and when I have a question, I can get it answered. And if you guys can't answer it, I'm calling Anthony. So, anything else?
Yes. Through your teaching work, what are you trying to bring to the art community?
To the community, I don't. I mean, I tend to look at it more of what am I trying to bring to my students, um, and that is number one, to try to break down that idea of I can't do this. Well, of course you can't. You just told me you couldn't, so you're not going to. But if we can get past that and you try, then you will inevitably surprise yourself with how good you are at something, and then you realize that you enjoy it. And if I get those kids the next year in intermediate or in an advanced class, then something's working, and that makes me happy. It's that getting over that hurdle of you can't do something, and then it's also the idea that uh, you don't have to understand all the art. You can look at it, and whatever appeals to you is cool, and whatever doesn't, I would like for them to try to figure it out and give it a second look, or go based on some of the information that we've covered on how to look at art. Um, that they would then be able to approach art in a way that they could find some meaning. But I've told them, I said, I'm the worst person to go to a museum with. I fly through it. It's like, I'm not stopping at the no, 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 no. Oh, where have you been? Hello. And then I'll sit down with that piece for a bit. Um, and I told them it's perfectly okay. You don't like every type of music that's out there, and you don't have to. I don't. Um, I'm kind of an old man in my music taste. But you don't have to like it all. You have to realize it's out there. Take a look at it. Take a listen if it's music, and then if it doesn't, it's like food in a way. Um, your tastes are going to change. So just because you don't like blue cheese now, children, does not mean in a little while when you try it again as an adult, you might be like, oh, where have you been all my life? And it's kind of like that with art. I want them to be able to walk up to it. Just because you didn't care for it doesn't mean you're not going to care for it in the future. Come at it with an open mind. So.
And with your beer brewing, was there a beer that you didn't like when you started brewing that you like now that you
A
make?
style or one? Mm, well, Josh and I have talked about it, and I love sour beer, but the sour beer, unfortunately, is also the same kind of thing as an IPA, where everybody tries to see how bitter they can make an IPA. They try to see how sour they can make a sour beer, and that's not really the point. Um, it, so I don't know. Commercially, I would say I don't care for a lot of the sour beers, but in making my own, that's generally what I tend to make. Um, because I have control over it. I can go, oh, that's too sour. I'll bring it down. Um, so yeah, I would say sours I didn't initially like, except for one or two examples, because most of them were sour bombs. Uh, what other ones? Mm, yeah, I haven't brewed a dark beer in a while. I probably should, because those are pretty good if you do them right. But I need to get the beer and wine and cheese making set up in the mountains at the cabin. I need to dig into the side of the hill and have a vaulted kind of climate and humidity controlled area for that. And that's just not on the menu this summer. It was supposed to be, but a retaining wall had to happen. So
Neat. Um, what are you bringing to the show?
yeah. Well, I have been doing like I was like you know, Josh. When I'm in here, I'm always talking about building stuff at the cabin. So I've kind of pulled back from ceramics and making, well, I should say art in general. I've kind of pulled back, and I've been making more spaces for people to go and enjoy um, structures and such. So I'm probably going to bring. And I say probably because um, I lost a pretty good chunk of pieces at my studio at home when a massive oak tree came down on it about a year ago. Um, and it destroyed about 4 or 5 pieces that I kind of really liked. Uh, I'll probably bring in it's a figurative piece. It's looks like it's made out of wood. It's a woman on the dome. That one. And there's like gold coins and stuff inside, and has lenses on the outside. Um, which is kind of the direction I was working in before I took a little hiatus, because I really like the work of Al Farrow. If you know who Al Farrow is, if you don't, you should check it out because yeah, that's it's amazing. Not ceramic, but the idea of lenses and being able to inspect pieces and things like that. So I think that's the one I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring. It's either that or it's one that's up on the property that's outside. It's a shrine that I need to finish off, but I don't. Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm going to bring the dome. That one was at the Crocker during the Crocker Kingsley. God, forever ago. But yeah, probably that one.
Awesome. Thank you. You nailed it. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
That was fun.